He was watching TV in the security booth when suddenly, a girl burst in. Without hesitation, she shoved a pile of snacks into his hands, acting like they were old friends. Jimin was puzzled by her familiarity and asked, "Who are you?"
누구세요? 할아버지는요?
The unfamiliar voice startled the girl. It turned out she was blind. Every evening after work, she would come by to chat with the elderly security guard, unaware that he had retired and returned to the countryside that day. Embarrassed, she took the snacks back from Jimin and stood up to leave. Just then, it started to rain. Jimin offered to let her stay and wait out the storm. They sat together watching TV. Though Jinghua couldn't see, she listened intently. Before leaving, she handed Jimin a homemade rice roll and reminded him to water the night-blooming jasmine behind the booth once a week. Back home, Jimin ate the rice roll from the stranger, a smile of quiet joy spreading across his face. From then on, Jinghua came to the booth every day to watch TV. Jimin would sit quietly beside her, admiring her gentle beauty. Through their conversations, he learned she worked as a customer service rep for the visually impaired. Years ago, a car accident had taken her parents. She survived, but lost her sight. Her boss often harassed her, but she never dared speak up. Though blind, her hearing and sense of smell were incredibly sharp. One day, she politely asked Jimin to open the door for ventilation.
근데 오늘 운동하셨나봐요.
He instinctively sniffed the air, realizing it was the smell of his own socks. Mortified, he went out and scrubbed his feet over and over. When she left, they shook hands. It was the first time they felt each other's warmth. A seed of affection quietly began to grow. Curious about the calluses on his hands, Jinghua asked what he used to do. But Jimin didn't want to revisit that painful past. He had once been a professional boxer. After retiring, he worked as a debt collector. One day, he confronted a man who owed money and beat him mercilessly. Unable to pay, the man climbed onto a windowsill, doused himself in fuel, and jumped. Jimin rushed to grab him. The man survived, but Jimin was sentenced to 4 years in prison. After his release, guilt drove him to visit the man regularly at a care facility. Life had worn down Jimin's edges. He thought he'd live out his days in quiet obscurity. Until Jinghua came along and changed everything. He began looking forward to seeing her each day. He'd air out the booth ahead of time, making sure there were no unpleasant smells. When he heard the familiar tap of her cane, his face lit up. He knew she was near. Jinghua grew curious about what Jimin looked like.
남자답게 생겼다고.
꽃미남과는 아니구나.
One evening, on her way home, a car horn startled her. She fell, cutting her foot on a broken bottle. Jimin rushed over and took her to the hospital. On the way back, she struggled to walk, so Jimin offered to carry her. With a mischievous grin, she revealed that her home was up a long flight of stairs. After finally getting her home, she asked him to help unclog her drain. To thank him, she gave him 2 concert tickets and invited him to go with her. On the way back, Jimin was as happy as a child, his exhaustion completely forgotten. Jinghua began looking forward to their first date. She got a trendy new haircut, picked out a beautiful outfit, and sprayed on perfume. Though